Konnichiwa mina, and welcome to Game Boy Top 10s Trivia Games. I'll take Trivia Games for 200. As always, there are rules I have specifically for these. Rule number 1, as always, has to be on Game Facts, and this time, trivia or game shows only. It's not on this list, it's not in my list. Rule number 2, has to be on Game Boy. No second gen Game Boy Color games. Well, there's only 2 of them, but no. And rule number 3, it has to be fun. I was trying to think of what this rule could be called, and basically a lot of these games are going to be Japanese that are on this list. And the thing was, any of these games on this list, I won't be able to read anything, so they had to have had something that would make me want to play the game regardless of not being able to read it. So if the game had what it needed to keep me coming back, or that I would definitely pick it up if there was an English edition of it, then it made this list. So I hope that helped. Alright, at number 10 we have American Odin Ultra Quiz Part 2. And this one definitely made number 10 because out of all 4 games out there, this is the one that actually played the best. Now, the game itself was very interesting. It was where you actually got to go to a tournament. I guess you're a special quest, or a special person that had to go in and personally get all the questions right. There's tons of people on there, and you had to choose answer O or answer X. So there wasn't a huge lot of, things that they went out of the way. They did add a story. They added a lot of visuals into the game, trying to bring it, and enjoy, for people can enjoy the game. That's why this one specifically did make number 10, because it wasn't as... It didn't really do a whole lot. Yes, a lot of, the questions are, of course, about America and all that, and to what I looked up, of course. But it could have been so much better instead of just doing this A, B, here's some graphics, here's a story for you. So that's why this one is number 10, because, like I said, there could have been so much more done with it. At least it did have a versus mode. I think it was only 2 players. It would have been cool if they used up to 4 players, but yeah, so that's number 10. American Odin Ultra Quiz Part 2. Coming in at number 9, we have Jeopardy Platinum Edition. Now, was there ever a doubt there was going to be at least one Jeopardy on this list? And it is the only English game on this entire list. Now, I had to play through, there's actually 4 editions released to the Game Boy, and out of all of them, this is the one that had the right questions, had the Super Game Boy features on it. Of course, no borders. I don't know why they only went for color, but you got to at least enjoy the game with questions that made sense. There's a couple of them I played, and it was just like, what? Like, I'm not a sports person, so the sports edition would definitely not be here because, well, I'm not a sports trivia guy. The teen one, honestly, it felt like I was playing a Jeopardy Junior. And it made me feel stupid. I mean, the question is literally asking, what is a body of water surrounded by land? That was literally a question there. And I was like, okay, are teens really that stupid to really have to enjoy that? The game itself plays really nicely, and you have enough time to where you can spell out the words and everything. Of course, as you are watching, I did not actually go through and play the game. This was the 4th game I think I played. of Jeopardy. I just said screw. I'm just gonna let it play through. Other than that, there wasn't any, the only changes literally is that in this edition we get different questions, we get color for the Super Game Boy, and that's it. That was the only difference. The graphics stayed the exact same through every edition. The characters are the exact same through every edition. Even the answer when the computer doesn't know is the exact same. And because of that is why it's number 9. There was no real, we tried something new. It was just a port that worked and you could play it. So that's number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Cult Master Ultraman ni Mizurichi. I think I got that right. Okay, this is a Ultraman trivia game. It allows you to either have, get as many questions correctly as fast as you can, or you have the board game, which is showing right now. This is really cool. You actually have to play as Ultraman, go through answering trivia questions to get to the monsters, and then when you get to them, answering questions allows you to defeat the monsters. If you get the question wrong, then the monster's going to move, I believe it was 3 spaces each time you get a question wrong. I thought this was very unique, very clever, and something that would make me want to play it because, if you are an Ultraman fan, here's the ultimate way to do a quiz. I'm happy to see they had a lot of good sprites in here. The only thing I did not like was, of course, the digitized monsters. Now, the next part, of course, is multiplayer. You can either link 2 Game Boys together, or in this case, you played on a single Game Boy. It was clever, definitely something unique. Player 2 used A and B. One of them moving it up and down, and then the other one to select, and the other person used the D-pad. When you got it right, you started to play, I believe it was either Othello or Go. I still haven't figured out which game we were actually playing, since you don't start with any pieces. I believe it's probably Go. But anyway, you go and you answer questions until finally the board is filled. That's how you determine who wins the game. Very clever. Very ambitious. For Super Game Boy, this would have been fantastic if they had a little bit more. So that is an Ultraman quiz game. Coming in at number 7, we have Yoshi Quiz, Aokatai-san. This is a nice game. It had, it was just really nice because it had the graphics into it. You had the choice between, it looked like almost Botan from Yu-Yu Hakusho, but it was where you get to choose from either being a ninja or a priestess. And then you had to go against, we have Mike the TV right here, telling what's going on, and then you get to choose, I think it's categories, and then you get to actually play against 2, well, you got the Skull Guy, and you got the Nick Fury, who looks like a fish. So Nick Fishy. And it wasn't too bad. I liked the graphics. Every time you choose a different area, the graphics change around it, so there is a theme going. You get to clock in and, buzz in, and then try and guess the questions. Everything has a certain amount of points, and as the game goes on, you are able to get more points for the questions because they increase. I was really enjoying how they were able to make this work out pretty nicely, and I really like that you could have that extra bit of fun with the game. It is a little sad that the only Super Game Boy features they have is just a border, but it's not too. It doesn't ruin the game. But in all, I really like how they did this, and I really enjoyed the concept of, here's just a flat out, let's go and have fun quiz game. Coming in at number 6, we have Quiz Seke wa Sho by Shobei. This is a port of a game show, and you get to enjoy playing it. Yeah, with creepy people. This game, though, I was really happy to see that they actually had, once again, character selection. They had 4 different characters to choose from, 2 girls, 2 boys. From this game, you do get to go in and, you're playing a trivia show against certain judges, and you have to guess the answers right. At the same time, you get to roll a huge wheel that is kind of like in Price is Right, and that determines what the prize is for getting the answer right. This is very cool. I really enjoyed playing this game with that feature in there. You could steal points, gain points, lose points. I think you also get a free spin and various other items. And of course, at the beginning it starts out with, okay, is it true, false, or A, B. And then it goes to where it increases to 3 answers, then 4 answers. So it doesn't just stay easy for long. If you continue to get things right, then you will start getting harder and harder questions. That I thought was very clever and really enjoyed, and that's why this one made it up to number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have Oyatsu Quiz Mogi Q. This game is a little creepy. I mean, just look at that girl. And yes, that is a seal. Things I really liked about this game. There's a storyline right off the bat. You get to go and you have various levels, and each person you go to apparently is, I guess, an animal, such as a seal that lives in a fridge waiting to get eaten or something. But every single level has its own border. I thought that was a really nice touch to this game to show that they cared about it. There is, of course, where you have to get the questions right. You have 3 hearts. Each question takes down half a heart, which I was really good at. It was funny because when I was actually going back to get some images from this, I started doing really good. But I think that's what made this game stick out to me, is that you have your story, you have the graphical interface, really nice. You can read the questions quite clearly, you got all the answers, and you have various things to beat. So I thought that was a really nice addition to the game. Plus, at the very end, you get a really nice animation of the sun setting and all that. And then after that, you get to watch I don't know if it's the credit scenes or something like that, but you get to enjoy some really nice comical animations, and that's what I think really stood out to me and made me want to continue to play the game. So apparently you have to play through all the different levels to unlock the final person to be able to beat the quiz and then gain whatever it is that you're going for in this game. I was very impressed with that. Coming in at number 4, we have Quiz Niihau Mokashi Banashi Athena no Hitana. Oh, that's a mouthful. I think I completely just said that wrong, but anyway. Okay, in this game, your furry little friend, who resembles a creepy curry, has been kidnapped by Oni and Akuma. You have to now go through and save this creature, who's your buddy, by picking hats off of the monks that will have the dice number of what you get to move. This is a great adventure quiz. On the right, you have the health of the creature that you're fighting, and on the left, of course, is your timer. You have to get questions right to kill them to move on in the game. I found this to be amazing. very clever. They're using a ton of the mythological beams from the mythology of the country, which made me very happy. And I really enjoyed that. I really wish that this game would have been ported over to the United States, because that would have been cool to be able to play the exact same game with a lot of the mythical creatures that we have in the United States. And yeah, this would have been a game I would have, without a doubt, picked up. It would have been so much fun to do this with this type of concept. I'm really impressed with what they did with this. And that's why this is where it's at. This is number 4, is because it brings that much out. It makes you want to play it for fun. Coming in at number 3, we have Yoshi Quiz da Gensada. I probably said that wrong too. Alright, the reason why I brought this one up here is this game right here starts with a story. You have this creepy old man who comes over, steals your girlfriend. Yeah, and now you have to go and defeat his robot butlers to save the day. It's all quiz based, and you get to, enjoy playing a board type quiz game to go and save your girlfriend. Taking a couple of the different things that were out there and putting them together. I thought it was a clever way of doing this. And because of what it was, the graphics are really nice. You do get items later in the game, if you can land on the piece. I just thought that it was just a nice, altogether story. What more do you need? The quiz games that you're hoping to enjoy. You got a story which you gotta go save your girlfriend. You're fighting against evil robots and an evil dude who wants to get married. And, well, yeah, that's basically how the game is. Got a lot of good little things that keeps the game interesting. And that's really why this one made it up here, is because they went for a lot of great ideas and made it to where, okay, they're going to want to beat this one just to see the ending of the story. This has been a fantastic one for me to be able to pick up in the United States, or for just to learn Japanese, just to play specifically this game, definitely. And that is why it is number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Capcom Quiz, Heitana no Daibuken. This was really hard to choose between the top 2, but this one, unfortunately, there's another thing that I like to have quizzes about, which is better. Now this game is very interesting. You get 4 levels to choose from, each level being based off of a Capcom franchise. One of them I think is Ghosts and Goblins. I know 1942 is one of them, and the other 2 I have not yet to place, because I haven't played all of the old Capcom arcade games, so I can't place them all, unfortunately. The game, basically, you draw out numbers, and these are what you get to move on your board. You get the question right, then you get to move on the board. I really like how, everything's themed. You get to see when you're getting the questions right or wrong. It's all themed based on the thing. The person who kills you, like right here, is themed right out of the game. So you get to enjoy seeing all that. And all the questions are going to be based off of Capcom questions. So you get to enjoy playing the game, taking your Capcom trivia in the world of, the game you chose to play. Thought this was fantastic, and yeah, if this came out in English, I would have picked it up. Done horrible, but since I haven't had the opportunity to play all of the Capcom games. The only thing I don't know is that if the questions are specific to the game you choose, or if they're a general Capcom questions. Unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese, so I was unable to determine this. But, concept alone, this game needs a remake for our current gen consoles. And that's why this is number 2, because this game really impressed me, and I love Capcom trivia. Coming in at first, we have Cult Jump. This is a quiz game completely around Shogun Jump. The cool thing about this is it is a top-down dungeon adventure. You get to actually, there's RPG elements in here. You get to go in, fight your way through the castle to whatever is the ending means. I don't know exactly where you're trying to go in the game, but this game alone, this is what caught me. This is what it's like, okay, this is about the trivia that I would love to play since I love Shogun Jump, and making it into an RPG dungeon crawler alone is just, that's phenomenal. I mean, the graphics right here, as you can see, it feels automatically like you're playing a dungeon game. It's Zelda, it's Dungeons & Dragons, it's Ultraman. I mean, it is a dungeon crawler. Every door you go to and every person you fight, you have to do a quiz. It is, of course, this is the menu. There is a menu. It allows you to, you have to get them right, otherwise you lose health, to be able to advance in the game. I thought this was really clever and brings that much more to the game, and all the trivia is about stuff that I really would love to be able to read and see if I actually know it. All Shogun Jump trivia. They will have, of course, just normal questions, or they'll even have who is this with phasing out photos, or what's the photo of. So that's what makes it really nice, very clever, and why this is personally the game that got my number one, because they made it exactly how all of us would want to play it or have played it, in a game that takes trivia to the whole next level. And that's why this one is the number one, because this, in my personal opinion, was way awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this top 10 trivia games. I really had to think about, what would make a game a good trivia game. And when looking at all of these, I think that each of them had something that really went out of the box. Of course, Jeopardy just being Jeopardy, so it's a port, but still enjoyable. And then going all the way up to Cult Jump, which is just like, okay, you guys want a trivia game? We'll give you a trivia game. But let's also give you a dungeon RPG adventure where you can enjoy it. And seeing these really makes me happy to know that game that, especially back in the day, people went out of the box. So hopefully this will continue. This is T. Sakura saying ciao and sayonara.